Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Testing, testing. Okay, yep, we're back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties are always fun. Gotta love technical difficulties. Let me just reconnect my mic. Hang on. I gotta put it back on my shirt. All right, there we go. All right. Gotta love it when that kind of stuff happens. It's part of being a content creator, right? So, welcome to the Creator Hangout. This is the new day that we have decided to go with. I have been doing these on Sundays, but Sundays are always busy for people, whether it be that you are spending time with family or if you're religious and you have church affiliations. No matter the cost, people tend to be kind of busy on Sundays, especially since it's the last day of the weekend. People are getting ready to start the new work week and so much more. But um, it's honestly one of those things that I was thinking about for a little while and actually was really just decided last week due to one of my mods. He'll be here soon. He's doing a live stream right now, but he suggested that we take this to Saturday nights instead because a lot of people are really busy on Sundays. And so big shout out to Colin. But I want to go to the chat because we have some people here in the chat. Yeah, sorry about that. I sorry about that. I was trying to get the audio figured out, but something was just I had to turn off my mic and turn it back on. Just technical problems. Yeah, there was no audio. We got Nano. Nano is part of my mod squad, so appreciate you coming by, man. I appreciate you so much. Nano is very good at what he does. He's in the tech niche as me, like me, and then this is a good friend of mine from the Video Ranking Academy side of things. His name is Gil. He's inside VRA with me. If you guys don't know what VRA is, Video Ranking Academy, it stands for Video Ranking Academy. It's taught by Think Media, and basically Think Media gives us tips, tricks, and suggestions on how to up our game when it comes to content creation, whether it be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels, so much more. But we got some new people here. So I'm so glad that you guys are here with me. Let's see here. We definitely got another new person, Ricardo. Thank you for stopping by. I was just talking with you via Colin's live stream. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm glad to have you here. And so, yeah, definitely tech woes. Goodness sakes. Like I love, hang on. Okay, can you guys hear me? Sorry. Technical problems. Can you guys hear me? Say yes in that chat if you can hear me. These tech problems. Type 1 if you can hear me. Type 2 if you can. Gosh dang it. Hang on a sec. Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Sorry about that. Tech problems. These things are a love-hate relationship. So we got some other people that have funneled in. We got one of my other mods that came in. Sorry about that. Sorry about the audio issue. I was having some problems with there for a sec. I love these things, but man, the struggle is real when it comes to being a content creator. We all have those kind of things, and you just got to laugh it off, right? But if we're just meeting for the first time, my name is Anthony Walk. I have been on the platform since August of 2020. I was like so many others, I was greatly affected by the pandemic. I am a photographer on the side. And so when the pandemic hit, my whole photography business had to be put to the side because, like so many others, I had to, stay home. I had to socially distance from everybody. And I sat there thinking, I feel like my talents are going to waste. I feel like I'm not getting much value out of my talent right now. And so after talking with a good friend of mine that I went to high school with, who is doing, hang on a sec. No touching the Rode Wireless Go mics. No more. I forbid you. I won't touch them anymore. I promise. I promise you, Nano, I will not touch them anymore. But going back to what I was just saying, like he said he was starting a YouTube channel. His name is Clark. But then after talking with him, I realized I'm like, I want to start a YouTube channel too. Like I feel like that's where my talents could be definitely most beneficial to people. So that's when my YouTube journey started. I officially launched the channel in August 2020. I uploaded my first video in September of 2020. And man, oh man, can I tell you, that is still one of the worst videos I have ever uploaded. I was stiff as a statue. And for those who know me, you know that I'm very animated. I'm like this, like, I'm all over the place having fun. But in that one, I'm like, my name's like Anthony, and well, I do photography, and I was like a statue. I was legitimately like a statue, and people were just thinking. I had a friend who actually helped me record my last pre-recorded video. He's like, when I watched your video, I was like, what is wrong with him? Like, this is not the person I know. So yeah, if we're meeting for the first time, my name is Anthony Locke. I am the owner of this channel. I do these Creator Hangouts every week, and really, this is just to help benefit you guys. Now, I do have a few big announcements. One of the big announcements is that this week I'm going to be doing an extra live stream on Tuesday because that's the first day of Prime, Amazon Prime Day. So I'm going to be doing a live stream talking with you guys about different great deals on tech and other great deals. And you can definitely make sure that if you're not subscribed, that you subscribe because you don't want to miss out on that. Because Prime Day, for those who have Amazon Prime, we look forward to this day every year because it's when we get a ton of savings through Amazon Prime. A lot of people do their Christmas shopping on Amazon Prime Day because it's 2 days. I'm going to be live streaming at least one of those days, possibly both days. Just on the next one, on the second day, it'll be later. But we save a lot of money as content creators, as customers, as people who just like to buy the latest and greatest stuff. Like that's when we get excited for. So Prime Day, I'm going to be doing a live stream on Tuesday. So that's the 12th. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And then the second big announcement is that I am going to be doing every other week. I'm going to be giving my live streams will be all about photography tips. I want to go back to my roots of why I started this channel and really just help you to be better photographers and better content creators, because photography and videography equal into better content creators. It's math. We all are not the biggest fan of math, but it's math. But so those are two big announcements, and there might be another big announcement later on in the stream. So make sure you stick around for that. But so really, this is just such a great time for me to really just let you get to know me plus other creators. I'm going to be having a lot of people actually probably coming up on stage this evening. So I want to go back to the chat real quick. Exactly. Pivot your business. And it's affiliate marketing. Like, if you are new to the content creation thing and you're like, hey, I really want to get into the content creation space. If you go on to Amazon, you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can actually apply for their affiliate program. They give you it's a 180-day trial. And you have to make 3 sales. And if you make 3 sales, like I was telling someone earlier, that they should really just hop on this affiliate program train right now, since Prime Day is this next Tuesday, the 12th. So, and that actually answers another question. Daylin asked what day is Prime Day, and Daylin, it is Tuesday and Wednesday, so that's the 12th and the 13th this coming week. So if you guys are interested in doing that, I would highly recommend it. I would try to post the link for you, but if every time I post the link, it just goes to my affiliate link and my website. But if it's very easy to set up. Let's see if you're here in a sec. I'll try to just log out and re-log in so I can just help you guys to know where and how to be an Amazon affiliate. But yeah, that was a mouthful. That was a mouthful. Amazon Prime Day is marketed as a big sale. It is marketed as a big sale. It's kind of like the Amazon Prime Black Friday, but it's in July. So it's Black Friday in July. And actually, I just found out this week that Best Buy is also kind of doing one of the same things, kind of along the same lines of Prime Day on their website. I'm not sure when it is, but they're just, all these big companies are trying to compete with one another. And we as content creators, as customers, we're all just kind of benefiting from it because we can get some really killer deals. Like, I mean, there's some deals have found in the past. Like last year, I'll give you a great example. Last year, I got some 12-foot phone cords for half the price on Prime Day. And being an Amazon affiliate, the cool thing about being an Amazon affiliate is that if they click on Prime, on like Amazon Prime through your link, you can get whatever it is that you're promoting. You can get a commission off of that. Plus, you can get a commission off of whatever else they buy for the next 24 hours. So, like, let's say if you're in the tech niche like me, and someone clicks my link and they decide to, they're like, well, I want to go buy some clothes or I want to go buy these planter pots. I'll still get a commission off of that because they clicked on Amazon through my link. And that's for the next like 24 hours. And I mean, how cool is that? Like, you get paid for stuff like that. Like, I mean, that's, in my eyes, that's a plus and an incentive. Yeah, it is. It's so mark your calendars. Prime Day is Tuesday the 12th and Wednesday the 13th. So this is, like I said, this is a day that we all look forward to, especially like I've been a Prime member for a little while now, and honestly, like this is like Christmas to me because like I said, I've found some killer deals. Like I got one of my family members' birthday presents via Prime Day last year, and they were excited about it. But yeah, it's such a great thing. But so content creation, this is something that I'm very passionate about. I love it. I love talking about it. And I want to help the more people I can, the better. So when I first got started, I was not a member of Video Ranking Academy. I was just kind of doing this on my own, kind of freestyling it, but I made a huge error. Now you may be asking, what was that huge error? I was uploading content that I thought the audience needed to see or to listen to instead of going to the audience and seeing what they were asking for. Now, that is an important strategy to have as a content creator, especially here on YouTube, because if you are posting content that you want to see, your traction is not going to be as high. But if you're posting content, we'll use Amazon Prime Day, for example. Like if you're going live, like on Amazon Prime, that's stuff that people are looking for. People are wanting to know, okay, what are some of the killer deals on Prime Day? And so if they go to you and they see that, oh, okay, well, he or she is talking about Prime deals. I want to subscribe to this person because they kind of understand like what I'm looking for. Or like in my niche, for example, if someone is trying to find stuff to do with photography tips, like for beginners, or like how to use Lightroom and all that, if they come on my channel and they see like, okay, well, he has a few videos on this kind of stuff, like I want to subscribe to this guy because he's making content that pertains to what I'm searching after. And I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes your videos aren't going to take off for like 90 days. It's a hard truth. And then there's sometimes when it'll be like an overnight sensation. You can even go viral. I'll give you a great example. This is not from me. This didn't happen to me. This happened to my mom. My mom is in the gardening niche, and she had a YouTube short go viral. It was her second or third YouTube short. It went viral. It had 3.5K views in 24 hours. And she was just talking about microgreens. Now, that's a very hot topic, and if you're in the gardening space, definitely make sure you do stuff like that, that is trending, go with trends, go with things that people are researching about. Here in Utah, where I am, gardening is a pretty big deal right now because this is our gardening season, and we're starting to get closer to the point where we can start harvesting, start preparing for winter. even though it's only July. I say that in preface because a lot of people are starting to harvest their crops, like whether it be cucumbers, strawberries, so much. And so YouTube Shorts can help benefit you, but you got to make sure you're posting content that people are looking for. And so a great website that I will post here in the chat, let me pull it up. I brought this up before in one of my live streams, but this is a perfect website, and you get 2 free searches with this website every day. And it is called answerthepublic.com. Now, this is a website that you can go on, like I said, and you can do 2 free searches a day. You can sign up for their premium. I don't, but you can do those 2 free searches a day, and it really goes into depth. Like, it shows you like what kind of questions people are asking, what kind of things that they are really just trying to do better in. Like, they're trying to whether it be gardening, tech, photography, whatever the case may be, they're going to the internet and they're asking these questions. So answerthepublic.com takes these questions and they stores them, and it gives us as content creators the chance to basically make content pertaining to those searchable questions. Going back to the chat, yep, this is a Streamyard shirt. I actually won this from a good friend of mine's live stream, Professor Nez. He's one of my mentors and one of my mods. I won this shirt last fall and one of his streams, and I was very excited about it. Well, thank you. I sometimes I feel like YouTube Shorts are hit or miss, but I feel like they're really fun. Like, to tell you guys to be the honest truth, the first YouTube Short I ever posted, within 24 hours got over 400 views. I mean, that's pretty cool for like the first YouTube Short ever being posted. Like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, there are so many ways that you as a content creator can improve your success with doing these keyword research. vidIQ has keyword research. TubeBuddy has it. You can even go on Google, or better yet, here, let me just show you something real quick. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to share my screen here in a second. Please keep in mind, I have a lot of tabs open like last time, but that's just the life of a content creator / college student. Like, I have a lot of tabs open on my streams, on my computer. But I wanted to I'll share my screen real quick. Let's see here, share screen. Yep, share that one. So you can go on here and go to YouTube, and so I'll use my example. One of my niches, for example, photography for beginners. There's so many cool things like photography tutorials for beginners, Canon. See, and I use a Canon, and that would be a perfect video for me to do to help explain like how to use a Canon DSLR, or photography tips for mobile. Like, we all have our mobile devices, and a lot of people take a lot of photos on their mobile devices. And then there's photography videos, photography ideas, courses, and then we'll even go into my mom's niche. So we can do gardening tips and hacks, gardening answers, Gardener's World 2022, gardening ideas for home. You can even take it a little bit further, and you type it in: gardening for kids, gardening tips, gardening with Creekside, gardening in Canada. So the options are limitless when it comes to this kind of stuff, because the YouTube algorithm wants you to succeed, if I can get the words out of my mouth. Because if you succeed, YouTube succeeds. They want to keep you on the platform. And that is one of the best features about it. And, when I was a part of Colin's live stream just a little bit ago, he talked about a very important YouTube channel, and that is from YouTube itself, called Creator Insider. And I'll pull it up real quick. I'll show you guys exactly what it is. These guys, they want you to be successful on YouTube. They really, because again, if you're successful, they're successful. Let's see here. Let me share my screen and I will show you guys this channel. All right, so here we are again. This is the Creator Insight. This is a whole YouTube channel dedicated to help you to be better content creators and to help you to up your game. Like, I mean, you have so many different things. You have so many different videos. You can, I mean, the choices are just limitless. You know, shorts, questions answered this week at YouTube. There's so many cool things that Creator Insider offers, and they want you to be successful. And that's the coolest thing is, like, I mean, they have different playlists. Let's say if you're wanting to know more about shorts, there you go. If you want to know more about YouTube studio updates, there you go. If you want to know more about YouTube ads and monetization, there you go. And then here's a great one that people are always asking questions on, and that is decoding the algorithm. Okay, and I want to stop. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a bit because I want to talk to you guys about this. A lot of people think that the YouTube algorithm is your enemy. It's not. It's supposed to be, when it comes to content creation, it's supposed to be your best friend. And that's why I say what I say, because the YouTube algorithm will benefit you the more content you produce, whether it be live streams, pre-recorded content, shorts. The more content you put out, it's going to start to find the target audience for you. Whether it be you're in the photography niche like me, or like, you know, videography, I also do tech. Or if you're in the gardening niche, if you're in the cooking niche, the more content you upload, the more content it will push out, the more of a target audience it'll push your content out to. Now, that's not to say you don't need to promote your stuff. This is one thing that they do teach us in Video Ranking Academy, is that, like, when you post a video, I mean, don't overpost, don't overshare it, but share it on different platforms. Like, dropped a new video today. You can, you know, great example. People are on Instagram, link it. Just say, like, dropped a new video today. Swipe up to see it. Or you can post it on Twitter. It's like, new video. And the cool thing about Twitter is there's actually a hashtag, and I'll put it in the chat so you guys know how to use it. And this is if you do this hashtag on Twitter, you'll get a retweet every time, guaranteed. Let's see here, Creator Economy. Yeah, that's how you spell it. I just want to make sure I spelled it right. I am a college student, but if you use this hashtag, you'll get a retweet, and so your videos, your content will get tweeted out to more people, potentially people who are following that hashtag, and you're going to get more of an audience. You can also post on places like LinkedIn. You can post on Facebook. Even though Facebook doesn't really like you to post YouTube videos, they're not as prone to promote because they want to keep you on their platform. You can still post via YouTube and say, like, dropped a new video today. Go here, click on this link and check it out. Let me know what you think. Really, at the beginning, you have to I think of it like a job interview. This is a great comparison. You know, we've all been in job interviews where they're like, well, tell me about yourself. Or, you know, you're basically having to sell yourself in a way. And that's really where it starts with you and YouTube, is you have to kind of sell who you are and, like, what kind of information you're giving. You have to kind of start to establish yourself on the platform, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels, and we'll get all to that later on. But really, I just want to go back to the chat because I feel like I've just been giving you guys a lot of info. Yeah, autocomplete feature, exactly. Autocomplete. I mean, Gil goes on to say autocomplete feature works on both YouTube and Google. And then it says he also said, yeah, you got to feed the algorithm. This is great advice right here. If I can get my fingers right, this is great advice. You have to feed that algorithm. I think of it, this is another terrible comparison, but it's a good comparison at the same time. Think about when you go and get gas. We all know gas is really high right now. You know, here in Utah, I think the cheapest that is right now here in Utah is $5.09 a gallon. That's the cheapest I've found it thus far. And there's some people that are paying like over $6 a gallon here in the state of Utah. And oh no. Raid incoming. This is gonna be awkward. This is gonna be this is gonna be interesting. But think of the algorithm like the gas that you have to put in your car. The more gas you put in your car, the more it's going to be pushed out to a more target audience. So that's why people like Sean Cannell, Heather Torres, there's so many, Roberto Blake, Viper, they all say like you need to keep producing content because the algorithm wants you to do that because it wants to help you to find your target audience. So that's why I say like you need to just be consistently uploading, even if it's a YouTube short. If it gets you a presence on the platform, why not try? Like, why not try? This is the greatest part about being a content creator is why not try? And yeah, and this is definitely not sponsored, but I am an affiliate for Streamyard. I'll talk about that here in a sec. Thanks for the reminder. Oh goodness! Of course, Colin told you to say that. So think about the algorithm like you're filling up gas. You're filling up the algorithm with fuel that it can mass produce and push out your content to a bigger, wider audience. Hey now, whoa, hey now, hey. Utah is great. I love Utah. Now, I'm not saying that other states aren't great, but I am saying that Utah is great. And I want to bring someone. Hey now, whoa, what's with all the fire? Like, Utah is trash. Hang on a sec. I got to bring someone on. Was this your fault?
Yes, this is my doing.
Freaking heck, Colin!
We're doing a channel raid. I told them all, Wisconsin's the greatest. We're going with you down with Utah.
Okay, first of all, I do like Culver's. I'm not saying I don't like Culver's. I'm just saying that the one that I went to here in Layton, Utah, they took forever to get my food to me. Like, I ordered it and it was like 15 minutes later and they still hadn't given me my food. I went through the drive-through. They only had one drive-through open at this time. And I still to this day don't know why they didn't have both in. But I do like it. I would have to say their custard was amazing. Like, I thought this was like the best custard I've had in a while. So it's not that I don't like Culver's. I do like it. It's just that the one here took forever to get my stuff. Oh my gosh, you guys are seriously rating me. This is like okay, look at this. Look at this comment. Look what you started. This is Lalo, one of my mods. By the way, this guy right here is one of my mods, and he's just telling everybody how they should be booing Utah. He's just jealous because we have the greatest snow on Earth.
I don't know how any other way we could make entrance into your live stream other than booing Utah.
So, Colin, I wanted to ask you a question about this. When I gave this comparison about how the YouTube algorithm, I use the comparison that to feed the YouTube algorithm, it's kind of like when you're filling up your gas tank. You have to, the more gas you put in it, the more it's going to get you to where you need to be. And so I use that comparison with YouTube, and the fuel per se with the algorithm is the more content you push out. Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think the more at bats you have, and time you actually put into there, like I think something you often reference too with like Sean Cannell is like that 1% better every single video. And the more time you have to do that, like that compounds over time, where you're constantly looking at your channel. So, I can do this. I saw a mistake in this last video that I can improve on, and like paying attention to other people, in your same niche. And that 1% better, eventually compounds to you something great. Like when I started, I was like filming in my parents' basement, and it was like, it was messy in the background, and like I didn't have really good audio, and I was doing nothing but ums all the time. And and then eventually I got to this spot where I figured out how lighting works. I've got audio set up. I've made so many mistakes and failures that I've just learned over time to making a good setup. So yeah, you gotta put gas in that tank and get it going. Otherwise, you're not going to drive anywhere.
Let's see here. So there's a question that was brought up, and it said, could the age of my channel affect my channel not being pushed as much? So what would you say to that?
I don't think the age of your channel would necessarily hurt. The only thing I could see that could potentially cause trouble is if you built a giant, a bigger following around one topic and then try to completely switch it to a different topic. Because then YouTube's, this whole time is thought like, oh, this is what your channel's about. This is who the viewer we should share this out to. And now, holy cow, this is not interesting them. Where does this go? And then they'll throw everything off. But
yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that I had at the very beginning. Is like, I didn't understand how like the algorithm worked. I thought like maybe my content is just not as important, but really, I just shared a little bit ago that Creator Insider YouTube channel, and like how it just has an unlimited supply to help you to become a better content creator. Because I made the comment that when you succeed, YouTube succeeds, because they want to keep you on the platform. They want to push out your content. And so like, if you put out like one video and expect it to go viral overnight, it's probably not going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably not going to happen. Like, I mean, Colin, you've seen my first video. It was bad. Like, I was stiff as a statue. I looked like I was pale as a ghost. Like, I didn't know what the flip I was doing. And I'm sure you were the same way when you posted your first video.
Yeah, I didn't even show my face. It was a PowerPoint. That was my first video. And I recorded the audio in the basement, and it was just like this 10-minute of me clicking through slides on my iPad. And that's where I started. One of my favorite people, if you look at where they started, is Roberto Blake. You go to his first videos, and if you watch like the first 100 of those that he put out, you're like, this guy's not getting big. This guy's not gonna like actually take off on YouTube. There's no way. He's way too awkward on camera. He has poor editing. You can kind of tell he's like an introvert. There's no way this creator's growing. And, over 1,000 videos later, he's one of those, top creators, 500,000 plus subscribers. He shares his monthly income reports, which for 2021, he did $400,000 in a year, and he started, and you watch those first videos, it took him time to really perfect that. And according to him, the one thing he did was quantity over quality, which is controversial, and there's a lot of debate on that. But he put out like so much content and like learned, and out of all that content he put out, he just kept improving every single day, and he batched stuff and, tried to find ways to make it work. But that amount of content helped him figure out, the style of things, what he should create, what stuff's working, what stuff's not, and being able to improve. So yeah, we all start in very poor spots, but if we didn't start at all, we wouldn't have gotten, anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely agree with that. So there was a question that was brought up. It said, question, if I was up, if we were up, sorry, I can't even read all of a sudden. If we up our output to 2 videos a week, will it maybe hurt the channel by taking away views? So what's your thought on that, Colin?
I don't think it would hurt the channel. Like right now, like with me weekly live streaming, I usually post a video and do a weekly live stream. It's kind of 2 uploads. I don't think it hurts the channel. I think actually there's channels uploading 40 times a day. WWE uploads like 40 videos a day. News channels, they upload like 10 to 30 times a day. And usually all those different news stories are getting views coming to them as people are, trying to find content in their local area or national news. You got Evan Carmichael, who's a very motivational speaker channel. He does 1 to 3 videos a day. So the only way it could hurt is your mental health, I think. And then that's something you should definitely be concerned about, because if you burn out completely, like then you're at 0 content a week, and that's not good. So you do have to find a good balance with mental health, and it's different for everyone.
Yeah, we'll definitely come back to the mental health discussion here in a sec. But I wanted to go back. There was a chat. But so this is Oliver. He's on one of my live streams a few weeks ago. He said, "How's Utah right now? I really want to move, but my family thinks that it's getting close to the crime in LA." Oliver, it kind of depends on the area. Like there are areas of Utah that I personally don't like. Like I'll throw it out there. Ogden, Utah. That's actually where my university is that I attend. It is the armpit of Utah. Like no joke, is the armpit. Like there's some really rundown areas of there. And I was actually talking in a chat last night via Instagram, and I was saying how like West Valley is how West Valley and Salt Lake are kind of like the crotch of Utah. They have some really funky smells down there. No offense to Salt Lake or anyone who knows about Salt Lake, but it's just how I feel. But so it just kind of depends on like where you go. Like where I live, Oliver, the crime's actually not that bad. Like it really isn't. Like the crime's actually pretty good. But going back to the chat, there was another question I wanted to bring up. Yeah, well, I did want to bring up this. You must show up and be consistent on YouTube and upload quality content, which the YouTube community wants to actually watch. And so, Colin, I brought up something earlier, and this was the mistake that I made when I first started on YouTube, is that I was uploading content that I thought people needed to know about. And I was pretty quickly taken down a notch. Actually, it was by Professor Nez. And he was saying, like, you got to post content that your viewers are looking for. You know, we'll use Peter McKinnon, for example. Like, you know, Peter McKinnon does a lot of reviews on like DJI products. He does a lot of stuff like on just different quality content that he knows that people are looking for. But a little tip that I will offer everyone in this: if you are starting up in a new and upcoming channel, find some of the bigger channels in your niche and go in their comments, and you'll see questions that people are asking. Make videos on those questions. So what are your thoughts, Colin?
Yeah, even Peter McKinnon, for example, which I love. If I'm not mistaken, he got 1 million subs in a year. And one of the things he did, if you look at some of his earlier videos, you know, he did Lightroom tutorials. He talked about photography, and, you know, he kind of targeted a lot of those main questions that, when it comes to photography, that photographers might have been searching, where they were able to find his content and grew it. One of his biggest popular videos was camera hacks, which is probably ended up being more of a suggested video that just kind of blew up in the photographer community. But like that one, it was like, you know, he had a gripping thumbnail, and it was just like the right content at the right time that took it off. I know with my channel, I'm a heavily searched channel. And so it's like a lot of tutorials, a lot of editing content. And, you know, as a result of that, you know, like I get, you know, a consistent 500,000 views every single month. And a lot of it is old content. It's not even a lot of my new content. It's just this old content is just ranking on YouTube. And the way I look at it is, we don't want to create search traffic. We want to channel search traffic. A statistic I brought up when I was in my other stream was there's 3 billion searches on YouTube per month. 3 billion. So that's basically 3 billion views worldwide going to YouTube search. And we just have to figure out whatever niche we're in. Where is that traffic going towards? Where are they looking for? What problems do they have in our niche? And create content for those people. Because, you know, we can't decide what they search, but we can find out what they search, and be able to, you know, produce that content that helps them.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, is that like the thing that people need to understand is that, especially those of us who live in the United States, like our content isn't just being produced to people in the United States. Like it's being produced all over the globe, like all over the world. And to be honest with you, a lot of it is actually coming from across the pond, is a term that some people use. But the thing about it is you have to make that content that people are searching for. Like, I brought it up earlier. My mom, who she just started in her YouTube content creation journey last summer. She's coming up on her anniversary with YouTube. She a couple months ago had a YouTube short go viral, and all it was her talking about how she was planting microgreens, and she had within 24 hours 3.5K views on that one little YouTube short. And she was so blown away that she had that in that so small span of time. So,
yeah, and I think shorts is also like an interesting thing too, because yeah, a lot of times people starting out, the whole entire shorts algorithm is a whole different, compared to like regular YouTube. So, and I think that's like just an awesome area for people to get in and start, because ultimately those shorts, it's gonna go to the right, person. I think at least my shorts are. I don't know about you, Anthony, but my shorts tend to be more catered to my interests. I often find I find a lot of business shorts that pop up in my feed. I think YouTube knows that. So, your shorts do go out to your target audience. So it can attract those people who are interested in a certain topic. And then, you start to, build a community, and hey, the shorts are a whole lot less editing time. You can upload those pretty quickly.
Yeah. Really quickly, I need to address something. Okay, you need to be polite in the chat. I'm not. This is your one and only warning. Please be polite. Otherwise, you will be put in timeout. And because I do not tolerate negativity in my chat, I have to throw this out there. So please be polite in the chat. This person was making comments earlier, and my mods. If this person continues to get out of hand, please put them in timeout. I cannot emphasize that enough. Sorry, I had to throw that out there because you got to be polite. I believe in being polite. But there's a question I wanted to go to, and it was from Oliver again. He said, "What would some content post that wouldn't cost lots of money? Because if I do tech reviews, you need a sponsor or money." Really, you really don't. Oliver, you've been on these streams before, like asking questions, and so one thing that I would definitely say to you is, maybe even review the tech you already have. That's a great suggestion. That was actually a suggestion from Sean Cannell, CEO of Think Media. He said that you start out doing tech reviews with the tech you already have, even if it's something that's kind of outdated, and you could give your thoughts about it. So what would you say to that?
Yeah, start with the tech you have. I think is first and foremost, whatever you have. And what you could also do, if you don't have money, one thing for sure that works is some of these companies on Amazon really want video reviews for their products. They'll send you stuff for free, even if you are a smaller creator, just because they want, one, reviews on Amazon, because that causes them to rank higher. Two, you can post video reviews. So then someone sees the content in your review and they're like, man, I can see someone's using a product. They're more persuaded to buy. And then also it ranks on YouTube potentially when someone is looking for that certain type of product. So you could get free products from these companies just by, when you click on their product, just look at their name on Amazon, and you can, search that company on Google, which I've done before, and then just email them and be like, hey, I want to make this video. If you could send me the product, go through that whole thing. And then also you could always buy something and return it. Exactly. If you really want to. Exactly. I've been thinking about doing a video video lights under $50. And I have no need for video lights under $50, but I might buy them, test them all out so I can show everyone these lights and figure out which one's the best for someone. And I can send them back and return them. And then I have, free content to do videos on. So there's a few ways you could do it.
Yeah, but and that kind of comes up with another comment that this music fan just said. I felt over and over again at the start of my YouTube channel. Everyone has to go through the learning curve, 100%. It took Mr. Beast 5 years to break through on YouTube, and I listened to part of that infamous interview he did with Joe Rogan, and he talked about in that interview that he was technically enrolled in college, but he would, instead of going to class, he'd just pull up into the parking lot of the university he was going to, and he would just upload YouTube videos. And so when his video started taking off, he went to his parents like, oh, by the way, I haven't been going to class for like 3 months, but hey, I've made like 10 grand. So they weren't happy about it, but at the same time, like there's like, well, he's doing something with his time. So like, I mean, I remember exactly how my journey was when I first started. Yeah, and see that same person said you have to be passionate about YouTube and that they're obsessed. So like I've become obsessed with my analytics. Like I have to limit myself like to only check my analytics like once or twice a week because I want to just keep checking the analytics and just really just like, okay, like how am I doing ever else? What was that about? Like you're just
I check my analytics like 10 times a day.
So and then Angie said interesting points on uploads. I haven't heard that doesn't take a while for the algorithm to find the audience. Doesn't it take a while for the algorithm? Angie, it kind of depends on the content, in my opinion. Like I want to get Colin's opinion on that.
So I think it does take time for the algorithm to like figure out who, like what I saw on my channel when I uploaded stuff. One of the videos that took off for me like right away was I like immediately uploaded like a new product release for phones from Moment, and I immediately uploaded a video on it. And that video kind of like sparked a lot of views that helped kind of YouTube, you know, figure out who my audience is. But I think, you know, sometimes it does take YouTube longer to figure it out if you just have a few uploads on your channel. But I think if you get more up there, you know, a lot of times now there's more areas where YouTube, you know, can find your stuff. And one of the examples I can think of is a content creator that I kind of featured in this, like, I don't know what it was, but there's trying to think how I can say this. There is a content creator who posted 3 videos, and the 3 videos, only 2 of them were tutorials, and those 2 tutorials took off. And the channel has over 1,000 subscribers, and they only have done like 3 uploads. Or there was another channel I think I featured a few years back during the Among Us craziness. They posted 2 tutorials on how to play Among Us. In 2 months, they got 25,000 subscribers. It was nuts. And all they did was like, you know, they just taught Among Us. So I think with some content, it can take YouTube longer for it to be found. But if you can get like the right video in the right spot at like the right time, you know, I think it can take off and help YouTube figure it out. But, you know, if I'm only posting like 10 videos, you know, I only have 10 videos that YouTube can use to, you know, hopefully get that to the right audience. Versus I have 20, 30, 40, that's more at bats where one might pick up and that might get people to more of my content. But,
yeah, for sure. And I think that's why so many creators always emphasize like batch record. Like they always say like, you know, if you batch record, that there's a great example of someone that batch records besides Colin. Colin batch records a lot. But the Elliott family of 7, like they batch record all the time. And so a great example is they had COVID last week. And so they couldn't have recorded any content because they had COVID. Like, you know, but they had that backlog of videos that they uploaded. And so that's why so many creators will always say like batch record your content. Like, and a suggestion with that would be like, you know, record one video and have a few other shirts on standby and just change shirts and just record those other videos.
And something I've heard both Roberto Blake and Evan Carmichael say, because I will say I haven't done daily yet. Might be coming in the future. We're going to see. I just have so many other platforms I'm posting on, you know, and that's one of the struggles as creators. Like there's TikTok and there's, you know, Instagram and Facebook and all these other platforms that you could potentially be making content for that, you know, might be more difficult to go daily on a platform. But both Roberto Blake said they saw an increase in views and subscribers with daily content. And Evan Carmichael said when he did 1 a day, his subscribers and views all increased. And then when he started doing 3 a day, all his views and subscribers like super increased. So with that, like, you know, with that volume, at least from those 2 creators, they've seen, you know, crazy results with like that amount of content being, you know, put out there.
And I think that's the thing that like they weren't overnight sensations. You know, Roberto Blake was not an overnight sensation. I mean, yeah, he's very successful at it now, but he had to build his, I don't want to call it an empire, but he had to build his presence on the platform. Like he had to go through all the hurdles. And I mean, I'm sure that you remember your first days of building your audience, and I'm sure that it was intimidating. Like you would see these big time creators, like whether it be Roberto Blake or Mr. Beast or Daryl Evans. Daryl Eves. I don't know why I said Daryl Evans. Daryl Eves. You know, all these big time creators, and like I remember those days. I remember really just my goal at first was to get to the 100 subscriber mark so I could get the custom link, and you know, then you know we should have those short and monetary goals that we want to attain to keep us going in the whole journey.
Yeah, and I think and I think the hardest part is when you see, or at least you think, you see other people who are doing super successful on like YouTube, and you're like, you know, and then like I know, at least I know for me, I'd look at people and they would like their channels would be growing, and I'd look at their content and be like, that's not even that great. I could do something like that. Come on. And then like you see all these other channels like take off, and you're like, why isn't mine taking off? I just so you know, and I think a lot of it, yeah, it's just you know, taking more at bats, consistency. If there's one thing I regret, it's all the times that I stopped, because there were so many times where I took breaks and I like gave up, to where if I would have kept going like that snowball would have continued. It's kind of like investing, you know, it's, you know, you've got compound interest. You know, if you stop investing, your money will start to slightly continue to compound. But if you keep being persistent and putting money in, it starts to build up a giant snowball, and it starts rolling out of control and kind of like exponentially grows, because your money makes money, and that money makes money, and that money makes money, and it just completely takes off. And that's how it was for me. I got a few subscribers, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh wow, I'm getting 500 subscribers every single month. Oh wow, I'm getting 1,000 every month. Whoa, 4,000. What the heck? I'm getting 6,000 subscribers in a month. What's going on? And like, but it's a lot to start getting it to roll down the hill.
Yeah, it's definitely a starting process, and I think that, you know, Professor Nez always says, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. Like he said, you know, I remember the first time I ever went to a clubhouse room. Oh man, did he tear me down? He did it out of love. I have to put that preface. He did it out of love. He wanted to see me succeed. He said, there are over 7 billion people on planet Earth, and there's only one you. He's like, you have to stand out. Like you can't be mimicking or copying other people. There's a lot of people that try to copy other people, like whether it be on YouTube or on TikTok, on Instagram. But you have to you have to carve out your own path. And so he always kind of put that back in my mind when I was first beginning, where he's just like, Anthony, you really just got to keep focusing on you and not so much the people around you. But Keto, he just said, I'm planning on doing a weekly stream. We'll see how it goes. I used to Twitch a few years ago, so I know how to talk to nobody until it gains traction. And that's really how you have to have it. You know, I always bring up people like Nez and others, but like they always say, and I'm sure Colin, you would agree with this. Like you have to treat a live stream like it's a pre-recorded video. You don't want to sit there like, well, let's wait until other people come in and then we'll keep going. Like you don't want to do that. You just want to get right into it.
Yeah, we can bring up today. I started my live stream and there was 5 people watching. And I'm on, you know, 100K YouTuber with 5 people watching this live stream. And you know what? I just pretended like there's gonna be people who are gonna watch this. You know, they're gonna rewatch this once it's uploaded. I'm just gonna talk to the camera and keep going. And you know, I finished the live stream at 50 viewers, which is pretty high. I haven't, you know, done a lot of live streams, so you know, I'm trying to build that. But still, you know, I just kept going and kept being passionate. So yeah, you gotta talk to the camera like no one's watching, and yeah, keep moving forward.
It's gonna sound kind of cheesy, but there's a line from a movie that I always go back to, where that angel's in the outfit. It's like a Field of Dreams or something, where he says, "If you build it, they will come." And that's really how it is with YouTube. Like if you build it, your viewers will come. But Oliver, he had another great comment. He's like, definitely any camera tips and settings for different cameras is one of the videos that would get a lot of views. Many people want to learn how to take awesome photos with their cameras for Instagram. So yeah, and Oliver, you could easily do that. Like, I mean, I'll probably do something like that, but Oliver, there's plenty of space for you to do that as well. But so we had this one from Tom and Bell. Said, apart from the anxiety I have, an issue with my accent, which is heavy Scottish. The subtitles are useless. Been trying to speak more properly, but it is not easy. Been making less face videos. And so what are your thoughts on that? Like, for people like with these heavy accents that they try to use like the subtitles and everything, like what would you suggest to someone with that issue?
I mean, if you have an accent, you can always, attempt to work on your accent, but obviously, that's or talking clearer. But as you've seen, even my videos sometimes don't get the proper subtitles, and and I was born English speaking. But a few things you could do. One of them could be, depending how you do your videos, if you script write everything out, you could literally take that script writing and do the transcript. You can manually change the transcript in YouTube and be able to do that. Otherwise, you could try and use like I know at least on a phone, like CapCut has an auto transcriptor where you can go in and change this transcript, and that way the text will automatically just appear on screen. It might take a little longer, but you could also hire it out. You can go to Fiverr and someone will transcript it for you for like $5 to $10. I know that requires money, but that would be the less work you would have to do to make sure the captions are right. But
and Adobe Premiere actually has that too, like where I've actually had to go in before and change, like, because it would like auto generate all my captions for me, and then it gives you the option to go in and edit your captions and really just make them sound like what they're supposed to sound like. And so like there's so many different possibilities for you, Tom and Bell, that you can really just you can just up your game. Like, look, I have friends that have accents. I have one of my good friends is he originally was from Mexico. His name is Carlos, and he still sometimes, like when he pronounces things, he has a bit of an accent. And so like it's one of those things you have to kind of deal with and fight to get over it, if that makes sense.
Grow with Angie says, I love people with accents. It's added character. And I'd agree with that too. Like, I think, obviously you want to be clear for your viewers, but at the same time, like if I hear someone with like an accent, it's almost, I don't know how to put this. Like, I don't know. I like Australian accents, and I think it adds to the entertainment of it too, and enjoyableness. And that also, I guess, is like a way you kind of stand out and are different from a lot of people. It could be one of those things, could be having an accent. But obviously, if you're concerned about people, being able to understand you properly, definitely do the caption. Premiere Pro or CapCut, whether you're on a computer or phone or whatever. But I think that is also an interesting point too. People will, and someone said an accent is an asset. That's a good one.
Oh, look at that. Music Fame says, I'm Australian. There you go. Yeah, and then Nano's like, hi, mate. But here, I wanted to bring this one up because this is something that you and I both know, and this is someone that this kind of shocks me and surprises me. But Lalo said, bro, I'm self-conscious about my accent in English. It's still my biggest insecurity. So Lalo, I'm going to tell you the honest truth right now. Your English is better than a good majority of people who it's their native language. I'm throwing that out there right now. Like, I've come across people in day to day whose English, who are were born in America, who have spoken English as their native language, and their English skills are bad. And I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm not saying that to offend anyone, but it's just that I'm trying to give you encouragement, Lala, that given your experience and your history, man, your English is legit. Like it's up there. It's very on par in my opinion.
I didn't even like. I will say, like when I first met you, Lalo, I didn't even know if you could speak Spanish.
Good
You sold
point.
me on your English accent.
Yeah, good point. And so going back to the chat, so we got a person that's been in the audience for a bit. Sharkfin, this is another cool guy, another Clubhouse peep. So if you're not on Clubhouse, I would highly recommend it. Clubhouse is the place to meet new creators. What?
Oh, the comment.
Oh, it's actually, if you build it, he will come. My bad. I'm sorry, Sharkfin. I know you're a movie buff, and I'm sorry. I just butchered it. I'm sorry.
It's a Mandela effect, though.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you have to, it's something that gains traction over time. So I look back to where I was when I first started in YouTube. I was like, how can I ever compete with people like Peter McKinnon or so many of the other big photographers in my niche? And again, it goes back to what Professor Nez said. He's like, there are over 7 billion people in the world, and there's only one you. And Avery Ford, another Clubhouse peep, he pulled me into a private room and he said to me, like, if people wanted to find Peter McKinnon stuff, they would just search for his stuff. But they came to you for a reason. And so that's one thing you have to keep in mind. Let's see, Angie said, I'm from Michigan and use funny words sometimes. It's who we are. And I mean,
Keto right under him is talking about Wisconsin accents. Yeah, sure, you betcha, eh?
Hey, eh? And see, there again, we have our own swing. Like, you know, there's Hooper, there's Tooele when it's spelled Thule. There's people say Leighton when it's supposed to be Leighton, Leighton. And so it's just one of those things that you got to really just understand, like, that everyone has an accent in some way, and you just got to work with it. But yeah, define self-promotion. Oh, well, he talked about, would you recommend self-promotion? A lot of subscribers or views come. That's where a lot of subscribers and views come. So, and then Gil said, you know, define self-promotion. So, like, what would you think about, like, do you self-promote your stuff, Colin?
I did, and I was horrible. I did the wrong way to do it, and I've also done the what I would think is the right way. The wrong way is going on people's videos and commenting on them and being like, "Hey, we do similar videos. You should subscribe to me." And, you know, go through all these different YouTube videos in hopes I just built this following. And that's not how you self-promote. You don't go for shout outs. You don't go for commenting on everyone's video in hopes they subscribe. It doesn't work. However, something Angie kind of brought up, and I think this would be a good way, self-promote, you know, to the right audience per se, in the right context, I think is a great way.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to come off as desperate, but you want to do it in a way where you're adding value to an audience and actually, you know, helping people.
Yeah. And she says it right there. She's like, I have a Facebook group and it helps help build my audience. And so that's another tip that I could give people. Like, you know, build a Facebook group if you're on Facebook. I know some people don't really like Facebook, and I get that. But if you're on Facebook, start a Facebook group for yourself and just try to get people to really kind of invest in that group. And they're like, oh, well, you know, Colin dropped a new video and Colin has a new post in his Facebook group. And so I want to go check out and see if it's a new video. You know, you want to give people that interest, that little tidbit that just keeps them coming back. And then Nana says, Colin looks like Home Alone, 2 hands on his face.
That's going to be the thumbnail for this.
Let's both just do it on the same time. 1, 2, 3.
There, we should have a good screen grab there.
But going back to the chat, so Oliver again asks a question. He said, what would be the right way to self-promote? So Oliver, again, the Facebook group, that's a good way. Definitely do not do sub for sub. Don't just be asking everyone to subscribe to your channel. That was a mistake that I made in the very beginning. You don't want that because that can actually hurt your channel in the long run, like with retention and click-through rates. And then, when you post a video, just say like, drop it on Facebook. Even though Facebook doesn't really like you promoting YouTube videos, you can still drop it on there and say like, dropped a new video. This is the link, click on this. And you can do it via Instagram too. Like, a lot of people will actually do the, hey, new videos up, swipe up to check it out. And then you can go from there. So what else would you say, Colin?
So Oliver said here, self-promotion for me is like donate, engage more so people see your channel more. I wouldn't self-promote that way. I don't think if you do like a donation and then like someone's like, oh, and someone donated $5, I see this channel, like the chances you might get 1 or 2 subscribers, maybe from that. I do think though, like what you were referencing, like, or just let the views come. I do lean more towards let the views come. Because if you make good content, like, and this is, I think, the hardest thing, especially when you don't have a lot of subscribers or views yet, is trusting the algorithm to get the right video to the right person. And a lot of times I think like self-promotion stems from like, oh, YouTube's not promoting me, so I need to promote myself. Usually YouTube will, there's plenty of channels that got for their first video, they did the right video at the right time, and it was like perfect quality, and they just took off. There was that lady traveler who did this van life, and she posted 2 videos and got 1 million subs. And because the topic was trendy at the time, people were making their own vans and living out of vans. And she was a single female living with a snake and documenting her travels. And in 2 videos, she had 1 million subs. YouTube found that audience pretty darn quick for her with only 2 video uploads. A lot of times it's, I can't get people to click on my videos, and that's why, they're not taking off. So,
yeah,
I think
and you bring up a good point that is like, you have to, the more you upload, the more YouTube will find your target audience. Like, I mean, that lady is a great example. Yeah, she posted 2 videos and she had like, so many X number of subscribers, if I can talk. But she found her target audience. She knew what was what people were looking for. And to be honest with you, that's the kind of stuff that people are looking for in that audience. Like, people are looking for the kind of stuff where people are living out of a van. They're just kind of traveling across the country, or they're traveling the world, things like that. But Music Fame said, self-promote, create a weekly stream show to be consistent and build your watch time with interesting live streams, and the viewers will keep coming back. Also schedule your streams, and that is important. And so, and that's why you and I both use Streamyard. And so Streamyard is perfect because, like, right now I'm broadcasting on YouTube, I'm broadcasting on Facebook and Twitter, and I could add more if I wanted to. And that's the great thing about these different broadcasting systems, is that people can broadcast. They don't just have to be limited to like YouTube alone. They can go to other websites. Now, keep in mind, you do have to pay, but in the long run, isn't it worth it? Don't you think that would be worth it, Colin?
I think in the long run it's worth it. Like, I mean, it's why I use StreamYard, because in the future I do plan on wanting to maybe start a Facebook group and be able to put out things there, or go out to further places. But YouTube will give you the basics where you can just click record and go, but being able to pull comments up and do all those things, it's great for that.
And see, Keto said, Q Shannon, let the music play. Exactly. You got to let the music play. And then Gil said, feed the algorithm by creating great content consistently. Colin, you create, you do this full time. You do this like, and it's not just like you spend like 5 hours a day or 5 hours a week on this. Like, you are like from the moment, basically from what you said in like Clubhouse, from the moment you wake up and have had breakfast to the moment you go to bed at night, you're basically like down in in the trenches, looking at for like what works best. You're reaching out to brands. You're putting in a full day's work and then some. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. 50 hours plus for sure.
And that's what it takes. And see, Angie said, find the Grow with Angie group, and you can see what I do. Even promote Amazon links there. And then Music Fam said, not just let YouTube promote you, otherwise you make promises to loyal viewers which you can't keep. YouTube is a marathon. Be patient, and because it takes time. It does take time. And so Oliver brought up a good point. He said, my fear is that my channel won't grow solely because the type of content I would need a decent camera, but the camera I have might not be helping to upload decent quality. So you and I, Colin, have talked about this on live streams before. And so what was it that what was it that I'm going to jog your memory a little bit, see if you remember what it was that I asked you. And someone said, if someone was to come up to you and say, Colin, I want to start on YouTube, but I feel like I need the best camera in order to start on YouTube, what would you say?
Baloney. I think the probably the best place is just using your phone and recording from there. I'd be interested to know what niche you think you need a decent camera in, so we can shoot that down. But I've mentioned this before, and I usually often mention it. Like 90% of my channel was grown on an iPhone SE, which is the cheapest iPhone someone can buy. And that's where, and it was the front facing camera. It wasn't even the higher quality back facing camera. It was the front facing.
Oh yes.
And I was able to grow my channel to where it is today, just shooting on that. Eventually I was able to upgrade my stuff, but that's where I started, and it was sufficient.
Exactly. And so, I mean, Oliver, I don't know what kind of camera you have like for a phone, but we all have these phones. But like I've said this in the past, I'll say it again. Like even if you have like an iPhone 8, that's still a camera. Like as you grow, as you start gaining traction, maybe signing up for affiliates programs where you can get a commission off of things, you can improve that camera. You can get a better camera, better quality. But at the same time, like okay, well, actually, he just answered it. He just said, I have a Canon EOS Rebel T7, which has a cinematic video I really want to do. I believe I would need a camera for good lighting. Okay, so I'm going to take a stab at this, and then I want Colin to take a stab at this. The camera I used for the longest time, Oliver, was actually a Canon Rebel T6, and it's a great camera. I still use it. I use it for my photography. But the problem was that it didn't have that mic import. You have a possibility, Oliver, that I didn't with mine, is that you, with the T7 model, you have that input where you can plug it in a mic. And Gil brought it up. He said, audio is most important. Use the camera you have. So, Oliver, my recommendation to you would be, go and get a cheap lavalier mic. You can invest the money and get like one of the Go wireless mics that I have. Colin has them. Growth Angie has them. Lalo has them. But for the time being, go get a cheap lavalier mic and use that. And that can really just up your game that much more.
So I think Canon Rebel T7, like that's a DSLR, or like a the cheaper Canon version. I had a T3i, was one of my earlier Canon cameras, which did have a mic input, but still it was a T3i. But if you have something that can do manual controls, you can make cinematic video. Which, if you can control iOS, your shutter speed, your aperture, you have interchanging lenses, I believe, on those T6, T7, if I'm not mistaken, interchangeable lenses. So you can get a 50 millimeter f1.8 pancake lens for $50, which is really affordable. It's got wide open aperture, so you could shoot it at night in a city and it'd be perfectly bright out with just a little bit of light. And I think the one thing of cinematic video, and I teach cinematic video from a phone. If you look at my past videos, I teach how to shoot cinematic video with your phone. As long as you have those manual settings and you know how to shoot video, like you know how to frame a shot, you know the rule of thirds, you know how to like pan the camera and move it. That's what cinematic video comes down to. I think you can shoot cinematic video on anything, just as long as you understand like the fundamentals of how cameras work, how to frame a shot. And actually a channel I could recommend is DSLR Guide. He shoots only on a T3i. He's grown to like millions of subscribers, and he's still shot on a T3i. And he even has videos about why he won't upgrade his camera, where he tells you like it's not about the camera gear, it's about what you can do with it. Definitely check out DSLR Guides. She'll show you how to use that T7 and get like insane results with it.
So I mean, and then Music Fame said I started on YouTube with an iPhone 6, an iMovie editor back in 2017. Like, I mean, that's really like where I started. Like, I was just looking at my very first YouTube video that I ever uploaded earlier, and I mean, it was okay quality, but it was just me showing photos that I updated. But okay, so sorry, that's not the one I meant. He said so. Let me see where it is. He made a comment. He said, sadly, actually, I don't have the mic import. Okay, and that's fine. If you don't, use your smartphone for now. Just use your smartphone, because not only is that going to help you, but you're going to have access to that. Like, everyone has their phone with them all the time. Like, it's just a proven fact. Like, even when we're not supposed to have them, like whether you're at work or you're on a date or, you always have it on you. But just use that. But,
or you could, or if you wanted to like shoe mount your iPhone to your camera or duct tape it on if you're on a free budget, and then just record the audio from your phone. Or you could plug a lavalier mic into your phone and just use that, and then connect the audio with the video later.
That's a very good point. And and then see, Keto said would like a Sony ZV-1 or a ZV-1, as Canadians say, but there again, the ZV-1s right now are kind of not possible to buy because of the chip shortage. But oh my gosh, when we have a new person that came up, Mr. Audio Feedback. This is our friend Seth from Clubhouse again. Another shameless plug about Clubhouse. This is where you meet a lot of great people. He said you can record your audio using a lapel mic from your phone. I switched to that recently, and it's been the best audio I've gotten yet. And that is so true. And so Oliver, I'll pan that back to you. So Oliver, when you do have the money and you can go and get a Go wireless Rode mic, whether it be the first generation or the second generation, you can get what's called an SC15 cord, and it can connect to your phone and then connect to the mic, and you can record via your phone. And I think Colin's pulling it up. Yep, there it is, right there.
There you
go. and it is definitely worth the investment. But to be honest with you, like, you can't find them in stores. Like, you have to buy them online. That's where I had to buy mine. But that was probably one of my best investments. But going back to the chat, thanks Music Fame. I appreciate it. But I talked about something in Clubhouse earlier, and I made a promise to some people. So back in 2016, when I first thought about starting a YouTube channel, I was working at a grocery store, and I worked with this guy. His name was Greg. He had Down syndrome. And Greg is a big superstar when it comes to like making people laugh. And he's also big into sports and everything. So as promised, I'm going to show you guys this a little like 1 minute 54 video of me recording Greg after he got a whoopee cushion for Christmas from a coworker. And here we go.
Yeah.
How excited are you, Greg?
I'm so excited. Hey, Fremont, How about Syracuse? Syracuse Titans.
Oh my gosh, Greg. Who else? How about those Lakers?
How about those Lakers?
How about those Dallas Mavs?
Dallas Mavericks?
Hey Craig, I got you something even though you're making fun of Syracuse.
What?
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
Don't
thanks,
drop
Dad.
it, okay?
Okay.
Who else do you want to pick on? What other sports teams?
The Bulls.
Yeah, the Chicago Bulls.
All right. Chicago Bulls. How about those BYU?
All right. I had to share that because this is a video I almost uploaded to YouTube years ago, and I probably should have, honestly. Like I probably would have gone viral, but I made a promise and I had to share that video with people. That was kind of off topic, but I wanted to share that with people. So when it comes down to it, here's a great example. Sola Flower said, I'm using a Rebel T5 I bought off Facebook 4 years ago along with my phone. So there you go, Oliver. That's a great example of someone that's using what they have and they're just having fun with it. But really, when it comes down to it, you have to just use what you have. And I know that Colin is he's a big supporter of that statement because me and him, we've talked on Clubhouse, we've talked on these streams about you start where you are to improve where you want to go. So.
And your phone's just something you always, like it has like the phones have gotten to the point where you can just click record. You already have good audio, like almost all phones these days, they have a good, decent enough camera, decent enough audio. Just get some lamps from around the house to light up your face and you can start recording. Like that's how I did it. I had one of those lamps with the 3 different little edges on it where you can kind of like adjust the arms, brought that around my face and recorded until I could afford lights. And I literally just had lamps and the cheapest iPhone you could buy. And
exactly.
That's how I started.
So, Colin, I know you got to take off, so I appreciate your time. If you can stick around any longer, that's great. But I know you have to duck out because husband/father duties do come first priority. So, thank you for your time. But this is just such. And see, I'll share this really quickly. Oliver said, "Thank you so much. Definitely will take everything into account and having some videos to watch from Colin and Anthony. We'll watch all of your streams and benefit from them." So, Oliver, I'm going to make you this offer. I don't normally make this offer to people. I know that you and I talked on a stream before about making a logo. Reach out to me, and Oliver, I'm going to put my email that you can reach out to me via email, and I will actually help you with your logo. I don't normally offer those kind of services, but I can see you're really passionate about YouTube. So I'm going to put my business email in the chat so you can reach out to me via email and I will help you with that logo because I want to help other people succeed where I was struggling at first. But with that being said, oh my gosh, and then this is a great example. My last video I did in 4K with the phone. It looks so good. And so that's the thing is like, you have the capability with this small device to successfully record great videos, to really just up your game and really just get to where you want to be. Like, this is what I want to do full time in the future. I want to be a content creator full time, have this as my career, but help other people with this. I want to be the next Colin in a manner of speaking, but in the photography, videography tech niche. Like I'm not going to try to overthrow Colin's niche because I just know that's not the route I want to take with this. But yeah, it's definitely one thing that I want to help people improve, and I'm sure Colin would agree with that.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, Colin, if you have to go, I understand. Thank you for that. I wanted to go back to the chat. And so Keto said, I announced a special Olympics track meet in the day. It was a huge fest. So much love. And I'm glad that people got some enjoyment out of that video. When I recorded that video, that was December 2015. So that was 6-7 years ago. And it was just something that I laughed hysterically at. And when I posted that on my personal Facebook profile, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I know Greg. He's so funny like this. And this guy, legitimately, no joke, let me give you a little preface on Greg. Greg has Down syndrome, as you could see in that video, but he also was one of the most down-to-earth guys I've ever worked with. I would be walking down the aisle and he'd be on the next aisle over and he'd be calling people as he's doing the store sweep saying like, yeah, this is Greg. I was wondering if you can send me some free stuff, my numbers. And he spat off his number onto the voicemail. And I talked to his mom. His mom was like, and these big time companies, whether it be the LA Lakers, Chicago Bulls, Utah Jazz, Dallas Mavericks, they all would legitimately send him free stuff. And so if you can take anything from this live stream, it is this: learn to have fun on video like Greg had fun on that video, because that is what you are doing as a content creator. Is you want to do something that you enjoy and that you have fun with. Why not make a living at it by doing the same thing? So really, I cannot say that enough, because this is something that I love to talk about. I love to help you to be more successful content creators, photographers, videographers, tech enthusiasts, whatever the case may be. Like, even if I can't answer your questions, I will refer you to someone who can, because that's what I like to do. This is what I want to do for a living. So with that being said, do you guys have any questions for me? I would love to answer any questions that you guys may have. Girl with Angie said, video and photo for creating YouTube, such a good fit for you. Go Anthony. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. When I first started this journey with YouTube, I had no idea where it was going to take me, and I'm grateful for the support that I've had thus far. You guys are what makes me. You guys are the momentum that keeps me going, because to be honest with you, I wasn't going to share this. A few days ago, I almost quit YouTube. There, I said it. I almost quit YouTube a few days ago, and it was because of people like, Angie was one of them. Colin was one of them. Lalo was one of them. This guy right here. These were all people that talked me out of it. They said, you have something you're passionate about. You got to keep going. Like, people need to hear you. Like, they need to do that. So it was because of them that I'm here today, that I'm doing this live stream, that I didn't quit YouTube, and that I really just want to encourage other people to do the same, to keep going. Sean Cannell, I always bring up this quote, and I love this quote so much, but Sean Cannell has this famous quote: punch fear in the face and hit record. I have so many times when I've been afraid to record, but I did it. And look where it's got me. I just got a big notification from someone, and they said that really, when it comes down to it, where was it? Sorry. It comes back down to this thing that Angie said. It's a good fit for me. It might not be a good fit for you. The photo and video may not be a good fit for you. And I get that. But you got to find what you're passionate about, and I'm sure you can create content with it. We have someone that was in the chat earlier. Let's see if I can find her real quick. There's a lot of comments. Anyway, her name was Sola Flower. She is someone that I came across that I met on the back end, and she's now becoming more successful. And really quickly, before we do end, someone else has decided to pop up, and it is my friend Ethan Klein. He is in the house, so
Hello, can you hear me?
we can hear you. How are you, man?
Good. Sorry, I was at dinner, so I was watching stream over on the phone, and I wanted to pop and say hello before you end.
Yeah. So, Ethan, you were there in that conversation when I almost quit YouTube a few days ago.
Yeah.
And so, what would you say to someone who feels as though they're not successful at YouTube, that they're just going to throw in the towel and they're just going to give up? Like, what would you say to them?
You got this. Don't let the number get to you, because a lot of people, all they want is the number, but it's not. It's not solely about the number. It's about getting toward like reaching the goal that you want to hit, but also having fun doing it. And doing it as a business, but just putting in that mindset that you got this, and wherever you go, you're gonna go. Sometimes it's unknown where you're gonna go at one point, and then you're like in this point of view, and then now you overcame that, and now you're gonna get back on track and do even better.
Yeah, no, and I think that you bring up a good point, that it's all about the journey. And there's someone, actually it was actually Oliver. He just brought up a good point. He's like, you keep going and you inspire, and you really inspire and passionate about sharing great content, and you have to be passionate about it. Ethan right here, this guy right here, there we go. He does a lot of trends. He does a lot of YouTube shorts, and yeah, he's gotten some hate from him. But has that stopped you, Ethan, from making content?
No, I've been doing it since I was 13. I mean, now I'm 19. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I started when it was Musically. Like, this is like back then. There wasn't even Amazon influencer program.
There you
Yep.
go.
I
See
did,
here.
I did it when Amazon never even thought of that, and now they have an influencer program.
And see, that's the thing, is like, Ethan is someone, he's like the short form content king, and we all embarrass Ethan all the time in Clubhouse, because we all know that he's just gonna blow up, and we're just always tell him, don't forget about us when you're big. And he's like, I won't ever forget about you guys. But I mean, he doesn't deny that he's gonna get big. Like, he doesn't deny it, but that's very humble. It's a very humble attitude.
I'm gonna get big, but I'm still gonna keep in touch with the people who actually, pushed me. I mean, I still do to this day. I mean, there's people I haven't talked to for months, but I still check in with them once in a while, give them a call, give them a ring, even though sometimes, they got bigger than me, but I still call and check in on them.
Exactly.
I care.
And see, Gil, he just said less than 10% on YouTube ever get to 1,000 subscribers, according to VIQ. Be the less than 10%. And I mean, Ethan just hit a big monument this week. He hit 500 subscribers. And so we got to give him a big round of applause. Like, if you are using your phone, make sure you put the round of applause emoji in the chat, because like, this guy, like, he deserves it. Like, he's been trying to grow for some time. And so then Oliver's like, hello, Ethan. And then
Hello, Oliver.
And so that's right on. It's crazy that it's crazy that only 10% do that, because I've talked with people who are like, I had good intentions. I wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I gave up. And I always ask them, like, well, how long had you been doing the YouTube channel? They're like, 3 months.
3 months
You didn't give it enough time.
Yeah. I mean, people on like the number. I mean, it's because the instant gratification. That's like one of the things why YouTube is very different than all these other platforms, because it's not instant gratification. It's over time you're gonna get views, but it's not like like TikTok. You can just go on and get millions of views in a day, and that's pretty much how it worked. I mean, now these days everyone just wants to get big, and it's like, it's not easy, because I mean, the platforms can get oversaturated, the niches could get oversaturated. You gotta push yourself to do it. and that's what I do.
And see, Angie said reaching people is what it's all about. And then this Keto said, I posted my first video 3.5 years ago on this channel today, kicking myself for letting it slide. See, so Keto is kind of it's one of those things, Keto, like where you have those regrets, but at least you started. There's a lot of people, they want to start, but they never do it. And then people are just giving you a lot of praise in the chat, Ethan. And even Sharkfin said, one day at a time, as the AA people say, is absolutely, it can actually apply to content creation as well. And then Nano just gave you a really good compliment right there. Ethan is the perfect example of not quitting with the amount of hate he got.
Yeah.
And, I mean, then Oliver's just like, it's all about happiness from your viewers, subscribers, and views will come. But for me, I care about the inspiration I will provide to many. And that's the attitude, Oliver, that you need to continue to have. What impact are you going to make in the world? And look at all this, Ethan. You got all sorts of people that are just clapping for you in the chat. People are just really happy for you.
I know not everyone's going to get millions of views on TikTok, but that's what people, when they join TikTok, that's what people assume when they get on it, because they see all these other people who blew up. But there's people who've been on TikTok since Musical.ly. And so they kind of had to continue their own brand. You know, when Musical.ly was shifting to TikTok, a lot of people had to shift. It wasn't just like they had to shift their brand, shift a bunch of stuff. But that's what people think in their head when they join like a platform like TikTok. So yeah. I'm not saying they're going to get 1 million views, but what I'm saying is that's what their thinking process is. Psychology.
It's all about psychology. You know, Professor Hernandez always says your biggest enemy is the person in between your ears. But see, and Oliver's like, you're going to get there. You'll reach that 1K in no time. And then, and see, Keto just brought up that not everyone gets millions of views on TikTok either. And so he just basically reinforced what you just said, Ethan.
Yeah.
And Angie is probably the best example of someone who has started from nothing and has made a name for herself. 3 subs, and she was already making money through affiliate marketing. She is like the queen of affiliate marketing. And that's the complete and utter truth. Like a lot of us know her story, but man, this has been a great stream. Let's see here. And then, so yes, sir, Ethan, you are wise. And I mean, Lalo, we all love Lalo. And he said, Ethan's just doing his thing and proving haters wrong. And so Nano said, look, Anthony, you're inspiring people. We believe in. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. But Ethan, any last minute of advice that you would give anyone?
Advice is just consistency. Make sure you're engaging with your community. Try to get them to respond to things, because that's like a big thing with YouTube, pinning comments, and now help them to engage. I've been noticing that. And just be there for a community and keep building it.
Exactly. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
And so Oliver had one last comment. He said, these big TikTok influencers have been around since Musical.ly and barely became famous until TikTok. And that's the truth.
Well, I mean, they were big on Musical.ly, but some of them had to change their brand around. Like, it wasn't just like, they got famous again. It was like they had to make changes to their brand, to their personality, because people are getting big every day on TikTok. You never know, anything can blow up, right? So when it was Musical.ly, there was a bunch of people who still stick to doing TikTok and branching out, because what happened was when Vine left, everyone either moved to YouTube, and then Musical.ly came out, and everyone, Musical.ly, and everyone just came from place to place. So it was like one of those things.
Exactly. Keto again said, like I say, Rome didn't burn down in a day. There you go. That's a great metaphor. Rome didn't burn down in a day. But Ethan, with that being said, do you want to send us out with the do you want to send us out and end the stream for me? I never do this, but I'm going to let you end the stream for me.
All right.
Any last minute advice?
Be positive, be happy, and enjoy the content you make.
That being said, guys, we'll see you next Saturday, 7:30 p.m., same time, and hopefully we'll get some more people up on stage next week. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next week, and make sure you like the stream as well.
And subscribe.
Yep, there you go.